Welcome back to the Four Podmen, the wrestling podcast we bring you each and every week on the Dynamo Podcast Network. Head over to YouTube, smash that subscribe and bell notification button. Audio versions of the show will be available on Anchor. And if you'd like to contact the show, you'll find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Joining me tonight, the Four Podmen back together for a special episode after a tough, emotional, heartbreaking 5 or 6 weeks of reviewing Dark Side of the Rings, A&E biographies, and everything in between, Ian.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a tough month, so we said we'd come back with something a little bit lighthearted and a bit of fun. What we're going to do tonight is I have requested from my podmen to pick out at least 5 Mania main event matches, but the stipulations where you could pick any kind of match and you could match any wrestlers from any era. But the stipulation was that they could not have met before, potentially in a main event or in a big style match. That was the difficulty in putting this together. And from that, then, we are going to put together what we believe is the ultimate WrestleMania card, 8 matches, 2 from each partner. So as always, joining me, the D-O-double-G. How you doing, hot tag partner?
Oh, much better now that I've got a booze poured.
Absolutely. Also back with a bang, the beef, Joe Duignan. How are we doing, Joe?
I'm good, man. I've lost about a kilo of all this hair I got rid of. I'm feeling good.
That's not a bad thing. On a bad Weight Watchers week, you shave your head. It's all good. And also joining me, sporting that beautiful Nature Boy t-shirt, which might be a hint to what's coming in these picks. Maybe not. The podfather of the Dynamo Podcast Network, Ian the Dynamo Kelly. How we doing, Ian?
Woo! That's all I can say.
Brilliant. Well, we all seem very chirpy, very happy, very dancey. Akeem is in full effect tonight again. We are back. We have gone through a number of podcasts where we haven't had an Akeem dance or a smile.
We haven't.
We can be happy again. It wouldn't have worked on some of the recent podcasts. And then a great miserable tragedy happened.
Yeah. It's not that we weren't happy. It's just that we were holding back. Joe, kick us off. Give us some of your matches there. Let's go through your matches and see can us three pick 2 from your matches.
Right. Well, as I said to you earlier, I scribbled down 11, so I won't go through all 11. No. I had some contingencies
11.
in there. You know,
11.
You're the kind of prick who had next week's homework done before the rest of the class were even on that chapter, aren't you, pal?
Next week's the SummerSlam.
Now, what I was worried about, Jay, is that if I was the last out of the 4, and half my matches were all already gone, so
law of averages says there has to be something, right?
As has happened before in the tag team Rushmore. Sorry, Dano. Look, I don't regret
it. Right, so the first one I wrote down, which was like the first one that popped into my head, to be honest, was that it was Kurt Angle versus Bret Hart, which would just be an absolute clinic, lads. Like that's. Let's be honest here, it'd be unbelievable. Didn't put any stipulation on it because they don't need one. No. Just because it'd just be unbelievable.
As long as it's not an Iron Man match, I'm all good.
I think they'd put on an unbelievable
match.
Yeah, it'd be unbelievable. You know, if someone did decide to put a stipulation on it, it wouldn't matter. It'd still be unreal. 2 absolute geniuses at their craft. Like it'd be absolutely phenomenal. The next, I was torn with this next one because you guys know my love of tag team wrestling, so I went for a tag team match, but I didn't know whether to make it a triple threat or not. And then I thought about it and I said, I'm always giving out about fucking triple threats where someone has to be dead for a while somewhere, you know what I mean, while the other 2 battle it out. So I decided I had to leave one of the teams out, which ended up being the Dudley Boys. I left out. So I went with FTR versus the Road Warriors. Just like a complete clash of styles. You have FTR who are just pure pro wrestling, and then you have the Road Warriors who are just madmen. I just think I know with a clash of styles it can go completely arseways, but I'd be hoping that the 2 of them are so good at what they do.
I think you just let the Road Warriors be the Road Warriors there and allow FTR to be the finesse, the grease between the wheels I think they could, not that anybody had to carry a match against the Road Warriors, but you need to see more than 5 minutes of fucking, flying forearms.
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
So
and not that there's anything wrong with that. We like that.
No, there's definitely a time for it, Jay. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But in a WrestleMania main event, you want more than just 4 hours.
Yeah.
So I think, as I said, the Clash of Styles, the two of them are brilliant at what they did and do, depending on which team you're talking about. So I think they'd work out something absolutely phenomenal. And I think it'd be the first tag team main event at Mania, would it be? No, the first Mania was a tag team. What am I talking about? So after that, I went with Savage and Jericho. I think the build-up to that would be unreal, because the two of them can for fucking days, and then of course the two of them are phenomenal in ring. Now
that's a great match. That's a great match.
But it's another Clash of Styles. You have a man that likes to call it as he goes in Jericho, and then a man that was just meticulous in his preparation. So once again, could end up being a clusterfuck, but I doubt that the two of them are too good.
No.
For it to be bad. Just be the two of them are far too good to be for it to be bad. So that's number 3. Now, as I said, I have 11 written down, so I'm looking now at which other ones I might go with. Actually, there's one that sticks out. I went The Rock versus classy Freddie Blassie. I think would just be two charisma machines talking shite. And
brace yourself, ladies. This is the Dreamboat match.
Exactly. It'd just be, as I said, it'd be all about the build-up, and the two of them could, they had audiences in the palms of their hands, the pair of them. So they just worked the room without ever throwing a dig or putting a move in. They'd have the crowd just baying for the pair of them.
Anything.
Yeah, for anything. Because the two of them,
absolutely anything.
Yeah, they were masters of manipulating crowds. They'd just be unbelievable. I think just the atmosphere would be ridiculous. People would just be losing the run of themselves for the simplest headlock takedown. People would probably go pop 4. You know what I mean? Just because the two the build that these guys would have had. So I'm down. I'm one more, I think, don't I?
Yeah.
Jesus, what do we go with here? Right. I'm going to go with this one. Steamboat versus AJ Styles. I think would be ridiculously good.
In a boneyard match.
It doesn't. Once again, like Angle Brett, I don't think it needs. I don't think any of these matches needs.
Do you know what, Joe? That Steamboat versus AJ Styles would be a brilliant Ultimate X match.
Oh, stop! Jesus, actually, yeah. I probably should have.
WrestleMania matches, isn't it?
That's a really good call.
Yeah,
but
no.
But look, no, honestly, lads, you just say those two names together, you don't have to say it.
That's something I'd like to see.
That's probably the match the locker room itself would pay the most attention to on the cards. That's the one that'd have the boys watching. Say, come over here and look at this. Wait.
That's the one that would have the boys actually be marks and pay to watch. Yeah.
It would also be a heck
that and Brett and Kurt, definitely those two for me stand out.
It'd also be a heck of a tag team, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Jesus.
Fantasy booking's great, isn't it?
Right, so Podmen, which two are we putting through to the finals of this?
I think I know who Ian's putting through anyway. He named it.
Yeah, definitely. For me, it's Brett and Kurt, and definitely
I'm Steamboat AJ. Sorry.
Definitely Steamboat and AJ. Those two matches for me, yeah, I would pay top dollar to watch those two matches in any main event without a shadow of a doubt. I'd pay to watch that in a dark match.
Right, so we're all agreed on Steamboat and AJ, so we have to pick one more.
Yeah.
And you're going Brett Kurt, are you?
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to abandon the Road Warriors here now, Jay, are you? No.
I don't think I am.
I
don't think I am. I had to leave them off my list and it killed me. So I'm going to go with the tag. I want to see Hawk and Animal just for the 30 seconds vignette before they go down to the ring.
I was going to go.
Oh, what a bucking!
I was thinking of the glitz and the splendor of WrestleMania. So I was thinking of going with Savage and Jericho just for that. You know what I mean? But I think, look, I'll side with Ian on this. I'll go with Bret and Kurt. And even though I'm a huge Road Warriors fan, I'm sorry, Jay. But I'll go.
Hey, listen, I'm all right with that. I'm all right with being right once other people get to be wrong. I think everybody wins in that scenario.
Yeah.
I tell you,
an asshole.
Two great opening matches.
Yeah, look, the whole card.
But it's definitely two for the wrestling purists. I mean, I wouldn't, just because I love the idea of Bret and Kurt. I mean, like, to be honest, I have Bret and Kurt on my list as well. So I guess we can take that off my list and I can probably sub it in for. That's why I picked a few extras.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the way we do it.
And to be fair, if in any other scenario, I'd be with Jay on that one with the Warriors and the FTR. So, I'm happy with that.
Okay.
I'm also happy that Joe doesn't get to have his own tag match. That's like a subtle double win there,
But,
me and Joe would be a hell of a tag team, though, wouldn't we?
Absolutely. Joe.
Pity of the singles wrestler.
Super picks, Joe. Super picks.
Thank you.
Well done.
Awesome picks. Awesome picks. Yeah.
Jay, let us have it.
Oh, okay.
Liv Morgan versus Warrior, number one.
This is like, I mean, I had
Liv Morgan versus Dana Warrior.
And the X.
I mean, there's only one winner in that, and she was never married to the big man. She never released wine under his fucking name.
I'd agree with you there, Jay.
I'm going all right. I had 5, and then I had a 1 throw in just in case, just how I was feeling on the night, and I've been mulling it over my head, and just because of the spec. Oh yeah, it's coming, baby. It's coming, baby. Woo! It's I'm going to just do a switcheroo in one of the matches. I'm going to open up my card with a spectacle. I'm going to do a classic Survivor Series match with the stipulation that every contestant had to be at one stage a holder of the IC belt. And the break is that it's generational. On one side, I have the start of the belt up to 95, and then 95 on the other side of the ring. So these men, do you know what I mean? The stip is you had to have held gold, and they had to have been on your bracket either side. And on one side of the ring, I've got Steamboat, Jannetty, Warrior, Santana, and Piper versus Owen Hart, Stone Cold, The Miz, Dolph, and AJ. Now, it doesn't have to be a fucking slobber knocker. It doesn't have to go for 25 minutes. Let them
Survivor
all in
Series
there.
style match almost even.
It is a Survivor Series style match. Fucking 5 men either side. Do the elimination down to the last one.
Give me those names again slowly. Steamboat, Jannetty, Piper, Santana, and who else?
And the Warrior.
And Warrior, yeah. No, I forget.
Versus Owen Hart, Stone Cold, The Miz, Dolph Ziggler, and AJ. I tried to get a span of the belt's history. That's a good.
I like that. I see what you've done there, Jay. I really like the idea of incorporating, a good blend of old and new, but also completely different styles. You've got the power in there and both.
I tried to match men against men. I mean, you know what I mean? You've got Owen for Steamboat, you've got Stone Cold for the Warrior, you've got Dolph for Santana, you've got Piper for anybody, you know what I mean? And the Miz and Jannetty, you know what I mean?
I'm looking forward to the rest of the matches because this one looks like one that we'd all put through.
Yeah, well, you can't really deny that.
Well, that was the greatest hits. That was just like the spectacle, the extravaganza. Do you know what I mean?
That's a hell of a show opener.
Yeah.
If my mania opened up with that, I'm taking a week off work.
I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, I know why you had a day off. There's a lot of work went into booking that alone.
Well, we haven't even got into the juice of this card, baby.
There's lads working at WWE spend 3 months booking Mania and they don't come up with that kind of shit that you came up with that day.
No.
But that all those classic entrance musics as well.
Oh, it would be like the greatest hits, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have to side with Jay though as well. The last entrance has to be the Warrior. Like it has to
listen. Let him tear down to the ring. You know what I mean? They're going to want to speed up the intros. Just
because he can rest he can rest outside for a while and just
just leave him on the ropes for 15 minutes, holding the strap, just doing that to the crowds. Like, no, turn around. There's a match happening. No, the ring.
Sure, if he came in first, he'd be blown up by the time they ring the bell anyway.
I know.
With that many men in a Survivor Series match, he has a good, he could quit and come back in the time it takes to get him in the ring, like, which he's wants to do. You know what I mean?
I like him finishing matches with the face paint still intact.
Yeah. Instead of looking like Ted Danson.
The five men.
He always looked like Ted Danson, didn't he?
He did, yeah, he did. The five men.
That's
all
not a bad thing, by the way.
And him just go,
It is if you're a warrior.
I used to think Ted Danson was Warrior when I was a kid, and then until I saw his arms as an adult, and I was like, no, not the same person.
Different lads, definitely different. Same dentist, different lads.
Definitely.
All right, now we go to the next match. I want to leave you room for this card. Match 4, I have Sami Zayn versus Mr. Perfect in a steel cage.
Ooh.
That's interesting. I like that.
Yeah, I just think that the pair of them have the sneaky sleazy and they can both go, but I also like the dirty fucking fingers in the eyes.
Who's working babyface? No, they're both heel. Okay.
Me, Perfect can do what he wants. He's perfect. So what are you, babyface or heel? I'm everything you need me to be forever. I'm like, nice.
Yeah.
They could be feuding because they're both greasy. They could be,
Yeah.
I mean, there's no real reason for it.
Do the switcheroo with Perfect. Go in as a heel and leave as a face.
Yeah.
You could do that as well. I mean, look, the world wants Sammy to be shut up. It doesn't matter who it does. He's walking out a hero. But yeah, match 3. This is a fatal 4-way from me. I've got Finlay, WCW era Finlay versus Benoit versus Guerrero versus Dynamite. I just want them to fuck each other up. I want a suplex bleeding marathon. I want bad things to happen to everybody in this ring in a good way.
Do you think Benoit helps Dynamite to win?
I don't even know. I mean, there's a lot of allegiances in there for him. I think I don't even know what happens in that match. I just want to watch what happens in that match, especially that hardcore style 90s Finlay,
That's a good fucking match, yeah.
That's a new TV show they're making, Dark Side of the Match.
Dark Side of Life.
Yeah, that's a super match.
I think it's called Underneath the Ring. Just to be under it would be enough.
Here's one that I'm sorry I'm going to have to drop 3 of these matches now. I should have just made like a load of jobber matches and me 2 faves. Well, that brings us into the close to the end. We're getting the second last match of the night. This one I had to do a little bit of creative thinking on it. I was sitting there and I was thinking, there's so many men who've done it for me over the years. I want to know and I want to get as many of them in, but with valid reasons and a little bit of creative flair. So I'm calling this one the Iron Tag match, which is an Iron Man match between tag teams. And I've got on one side of the apron, I've got Finn Balor and Ravishing Rick Rude. And on the other side, I've got Sean and Bray. And now you've got an hour to do it.
You know what's funny about that, Jay? I'm glad you said that. I remember when I was a young lad, and then the older I got, I always thought the dynamic, if they had have been able to do like a tag team like that with Brett and Sean, that would have been some fucking tag team. Holy shit.
I just want them. I want them to have an hour to do it. I want a legitimate punishing tag match where men are put into the ring for 20 minutes and absolutely wrecked and don't even have the energy to make the tag. So one guy has to carry the team, the other gets the fucking Brett back, and then to have him come back in strong again. I just think there'll be a tense drama between 2 teams of 2 men over the space of an hour.
But imagine the work between any 4 of them as well. Holy shit.
You'd have to get a hella creative with your tag strategies over the course of an hour. It's not just a hot tag and the standard usual. We know what one man comes in and just blows through the other because there's a clock a ticking and you've got men who look after each other and men who can fucking go. I want to see 4 exhausted men at 59 minutes and fucking 50 seconds with that pin going down. I want almost to be within an inch of their life.
Double stomp to the chest.
Imagine the potential.
Double roll up.
Imagine the potential as well of a tag title Montreal screw job. Jesus Christ. Unbelievable.
Well, with a tag, you've always got one man outside beside the timekeeper just staring there and going,
I don't know whether Brad would have enough eyes.
Thinking, John, I wouldn't.
I don't know whether Brad would have enough eyes to keep an eye on this match from all angles, really, to be honest.
And ironically as well, after the screw job, it was Rude who left with Brad.
Well, he'd have Rude in his corner, yeah. On the opposite side, legit.
Yeah, so I mean, ain't nobody getting screwed over here. This is where's your insurance? He's over there in the other corner.
Maybe go Rude and Brett and Sean and Balor.
Well, to be fair, Balor would be too chill. He'd just be like, whatever.
I just like the dynamic of an angry Sean and Brett beside each other, just staring at each other. You go, no, you go, no, you go, no, you go, no, you go. Oh wait, there's Rude.
and I like the concept as well, Jay. All joking aside, you know, it's kind of one of those, because that was always some of my favorite tag teams. You know, when two lads would be put together and they have that issue beside each other, and you see as the match goes on, they gradually have each other's back. Yeah, I like the idea of that.
And we want the white laces back in the corner as well. They have to hold the white.
You have to hold the string.
That's a given. That's a given.
Awesome.
You're not getting your tag in unless you hold the string. I mean,
fuck that, man.
Danny Davis is referee.
I mean, yeah, you'd have to go classic, wouldn't you? With a second ref for when Danny takes the bump, you'd have Earl running down overweight. It'd take about 15 minutes to get to the ring, stopping all like. So you think the Warrior blew up running down to that ring? Earl's nearly dead. He hasn't even got through the curtains yet.
And the new shirt, I did it again. Good Lord, what a match!
Right.
What's next?
Yeah, we've got the finale. We've got. I actually have wrote above this, which is a term which has become a Podman cliche at this stage. Sorry, Podman trope, but it's beautiful and it matters. It's the means much more than this match. It's the loser leaves town, and it is the Macho Man with ring valet Liv Morgan versus Seth Rollins with Sensational Cherry. I did a bit of flexing on time there, and that's what I want for the last match. Loser leaves town.
And all on the line. Has just beat.
No, that's Heaven's Bell. Macho agrees.
Ring the bell. Ring the
bell. You mean the microwave? Ring anything.
It doesn't matter. Show me a sign.
A classic wrestling match with no steps, just a fucking pin count in the middle of the ring. That's how this one's going over. Let these two men go at it. Macho versus Seth.
That's a lot to dissolve there. Noel, you're going to have to call them out again so I can fucking actually breathe.
I'm visions of Seth Rollins with the foot on the chest for the pin. Like Warrior.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that straight away. Like, unbelievable, yeah.
I also want the angle of Sherry being angry with Macho Man for dumping.
Well, we'll book maybe here's an
and Liv's down there because she's the greatest who's ever did it.
Here's a mid-show stipulation. Maybe on a future episode we can actually book these.
Call me, Liv. Call me.
And see who goes over and how it goes. I think that's a good idea.
I don't know. Savage and Rollins.
Let the fans decide.
Savage and Rollins are down with a double DQ. There's no loser.
Let the fans decide. Let them.
Means much more than this. One of them has to lose.
Let the fans
one of them
below.
We know Macho was put onto a desk before. He ain't want to go back there. He don't want to talk. He want to wrestle.
Absolutely.
I think so. Let the fans comment below. Definitely.
Let's recoup so we can pick. So we started out with a traditional Survivor Series match. Steamboat, Jannetty, Piper, Santana, Warrior versus Owen Hart, Stone Cold, Miz, and Ziggler and AJ Styles, isn't it?
The IC stipulation. Every one of them men held the IC strap at some stage.
So that's your first match, which I think is probably a shit.
Also, watch your IC show. Yeah. Do that or fuck off.
Yeah. Our 2 IC shows.
Ian's putting over the fans, telling them to comment. Everyone's ignoring it, and Jay's telling them to fuck off.
I like that.
Come at me, bros. Come at me.
Ian, thanks for listening, Kelly. Steel cage match. Sami Zayn versus Mr. Perfect.
I think that's a sleeper.
It is.
We must be fools not to be mentioning this.
Then we got the Fatal 4-Way. Finlay, Eddie, Chris, and Dynamite. Unbelievable. Balor and Rude versus HBK and Brett in a Iron Man tag match. And then we rounded it out with Savage with Liv versus Rollins with Sherry in a loser leaves town match. Joe, I know what you're picking already. You're definitely the bottom match anyway, without a shadow of a doubt.
Don't be influencing them.
Yeah,
Savage Rollins. Yeah. Because my boy Savage didn't make it from my one. So
oh, we are politically voting here. We have just got Wrestle Eurovision.
No, I like this. Deux points.
It jumped out to me straight away, that one. And the other one is the other one I'm gonna pick is the Fatal 4-Way.
Oh, okay.
They're my 2
Very
picks.
nice. Very nice.
Yeah, I'd probably go with the I'll probably go with the Finlay.
Eddie
The
Chris
Fatal
and
4 as
Dynamite.
well. Yeah.
And what was your second one?
And I'm gonna go with the opening match on that.
Classic IC Survivor Series.
Yeah.
I think it'd be hard not to go with that one, wouldn't it? You couldn't leave that one out with that amount of talent in it. So I think we're gonna go with I'm gonna go with the Fatal 4-Way as well. I think it's an outstanding match, and I think I'll go with the Survivor Series. So we good with that?
Yeah.
Good with that, Joe?
No,
Joe's not.
No.
Joe's about.
No, of course I am. No.
I figured Joe would go for the Iron Man tag. I mean, he goes on about how much we love tag wrestling. I've just given him an hour of it.
Don't forget, Jay.
I'm going to watch TNA instead of this stupid shit.
Yeah, but Jay, also don't forget they're two thrown together teams, and I'm a sucker for actual tag teams that are.
We'll get them the same ring gear. Don't worry about it.
We never know. We could still get Macho in on this. We never know.
Yeah.
Look, I'm joking. Like, I don't mind. I hate you all.
You make my life hard.
I'm sorry. I love you.
I moved to Sligo to get away from this bullshit.
And they found me. Previously on Homeland.
Match 5, Joe versus the internet. Screw you, the internet.
Joe versus YouTube.
Yeah, Joe. That's a series.
And give us your picks. Come on.
I've already got a playlist set up for you, Joe. So my opening match, no stipulations whatsoever. And there's I can add stipulations on these, but these are all singles matches. But my show opener is Rey Mysterio, Prime Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, always Prime.
Versus Tiger Mask.
Oh, sensational. It's like a goddamn monster movie.
Yeah. I mean, like, you got Rey Mysterio WCW era versus Tiger Mask 80s era. Good Lord.
Did you not have a mask versus mask maybe in that? No?
Well, let's add that then. Let's add that.
Yeah, you could go mask versus
we both know what they look like now anyway, so.
Or you could go
Tiger's going over, so.
I'd say hair versus hair, but the hair gets cut in the back.
Or
no one gets to see it. But trust us, it happened.
You know what? You could go Child versus Mask. I mean, Rey Mysterio, Eddie, you know what I mean? He was willing to bet with Dominic for an awful long time.
No, I think I'm going to stick with the stipulation of kayfabe, and it's like, trust us when we tell you, Sayama is absolutely distraught over the fact that he's lost his hair. Or Ray is, one of them. But we can't show you that. And then the next week they come out with the top cut out and mask, and you see that it's legit.
Dominic on a pole match.
Like your man, the villain in Home Alone. Remember when he burns his head and he just fucking dips his head in the toilet?
I go the opposite with the mask. When you got two men wrestling in masks and you just do a crazy out of fucking whack day Vince match, and be like, it's a wig versus wig match. The loser has to wear the wig. The winner chooses. So you got Rey Mysterio walking around with a big Elvis quiff on his mask.
Oh, when Kurt Angle got his haircut. Remember when he had the fucking the amateur wrestling ears on him, and he had the big wig.
Yeah, man, just give him a big silly wig. The loser gets to pick, or the winner gets to pick what wig the loser wears for the rest of his career in his mask. Big huge afro. Big, huge 70s afro on little Ray's head, walking around like a fucking lollipop.
Next, I went with Mr. Perfect / Kurt Hennig versus Randy Orton. Straight up, catch as catch can. Fucking 30-minute, one fall to a finish. I don't know why. I just feel that, good Lord, I think these two could just literally put on a clinic. This would be a match for me that would, I don't know, it would be a dream match beyond the dream match.
Both dads on the outside knocking the shit out of each other.
Do you know what? Absolutely. Larry the Axe, absolutely. Outside fucking ready.
It's going to be a beast of a generations tag match, wouldn't it?
Father son v. Yeah. That would
Father son v. Father son.
See, that's why I bring the singles and then you can bring the stipulations. I like that. No, I think that would be a fucking awesome match.
That's
I think
classic one, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
Next, I went with Shawn Michaels, again singles match versus Dynamite Kid.
Nice.
Now that is a match I would have loved to have seen, because you're talking about two lads who are literally always ahead of their game. And if you just kind of take a step back, because I've done that there today, and I took a step back and went, we never seen it even in tag team, you know what I mean, properly. You know, it might have been on dark matches in a tag team match, but I mean a singles match with prime Shawn Michaels and prime Dynamite Kid, both similar kind of physique. You know, I'm not talking about the overloaded Jack Dynamite. I'm talking about that Tiger Mask era Dynamite where they both would have been
that'll be the biggest stretch between them. For me, that'll be the return of Shawn when he came back from the few years off there, when he was a mature Mr. fucking
that's
WrestleMania.
Exactly what I'm thinking. That's exactly what I'm thinking.
Mid-80s Dynamite versus early Zero Shawn.
Holy.
You wouldn't, Shawn wouldn't survive being in a booking match with Dynamite, the actabolic Shawn. He'd get the shit knocked out of him.
No, things would have ended badly, yeah. You wouldn't have got away with doing the fake Hogan selling on this one.
Imagine if that had been the match at Montreal, and you can imagine Vince talking to Shawn saying, we need you to do this for the business. Going, fuck that, it's Dynamite, I'm out of here. Not a chance.
It wouldn't have been a spit on Vince. It would have been like broken jaw on live camera.
Tell Hunter,
you get in and you do it.
Tell Hunter or Animal to do it. I'm out of here.
And they're also out of here.
I'm sorry, I love you.
Where's Hunter? He should do this.
So I have my final two matches, because I did have Kurt and Brett in, and Joe beat me to the punch. So my final two. Now this is going to sound strange, but I went for an Iron Man match here, and I mean prime Ric Flair on this one.
It's always prime.
Woo! Prime Ric Flair.
Yeah. Nobody's going to put in the straight version.
Versus Finn Balor, but Demon Finn Balor.
Ooh.
Because I always liked Flair when he worked with some of the Japanese guys, you know, like Muta and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I always liked, he always seemed to really kind of change his game up for characters like that, dark kind of characters. And I would have loved to see that now. I think that would be absolutely phenomenal. And I think because seeing how Rick worked obviously with Shawn, even, you know, in later years, imagine how he could work with Finn Balor. I think that would be phenomenal.
Imagine if you had Bullet Club versus Horseman.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yes, exactly. There you go. See, I'll let you come up with the stipulations. There you go. That's it. Imagine having Arn Anderson running down and, you know,
knocking the shit out of Luke Gallows or Carl Anderson.
Yeah.
Arn Anderson versus Carl Anderson.
There you go. So I think that would be a phenomenal match. And then I rounded it up with the rowdy one, Mr. Roddy Piper. Actually, let's say this, a no holds barred match. Yeah. Roddy Piper versus Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Nice. Jesus. There's a barn burner, huh?
There is a barn burner. No holds barred stipulation.
That's a lot of punching. An awful lot of punching. Rowdy would spend all of that match just punching.
But non-stop. And then waist grabbing as well. Waist grabbing and getting them down and slapping the back of the head.
I'm thinking, wouldn't that have been cool for the supermarket match?
Oh,
it
would have to be a brawl.
Walmart
it would be a brawl.
I suppose
it would have to be a brawl. Brawl.
But there's lots of fans.
Anywhere job.
There's lots of fans that'll probably remember some of the interactions between the two as well. You know, when Piper came back, when he wasn't necessarily the healthiest, you know, Piper, but he used to have him on Piper's Pit and all, and you'd see the look between the two. They always had a great dynamic. And Austin would look at him with those beady little eyes, and Austin would say that, you're looking at me with your beady little eyes and your little skirt. You got your little boots. You got your leather jacket. You got a little hairdo. You know, and Piper would be like, he'd be kind of getting excited by it, you know. He's like, yeah, tell me more. It's like, I just think, and then, sorry, I did have one more match, which was involving the Macho Man.
Macho Man. Me, because you're just going to break my heart.
Macho Man versus CM Punk.
That must be a dark. There's not a dark match, is it?
No, I think Macho Man Punk would have imagined the program those boys would have had in the build-up, because any program, Noel, as you remember, involving CM Punk was just money.
Oh yeah.
That's man
Punk
6,
could have,
isn't it?
Punk could have so much fun on that.
No, that was 5 because I took out the. Yeah, it was 6. Sorry, Jay. I did add an extra one.
Yeah. Don't you play games with my heart?
Sorry, brother. Yeah, so Macho Man Punk, I think that would have been phenomenal. I think in one corner you've got Liz with Punk just to play with the Macho Man's emotions, and Sherry's in Macho Man's corner, but he doesn't want her there. It should be the opposite.
Because she's recently been in Seth's corner, and she said, no.
Yeah, no.
Punk wants
What are you doing?
Punk wants Sherry in the Rangers Society so he can shave our heads.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what are we doing? I've got 5 matches down here, and I've got CM versus
Macho
at 6.
So you can choose
we have to
whichever
pick
you
2
want.
from the 6.
2
How
from the
come
6.
he's allowed 6?
How's he allowed 6? He was
Because he
told to
knows
pick
how
5.
upset you were, Joe, about not having Macho Man on the card yet. So
Yeah,
Does
I
he
just
ever-
forgot to put him in, legit. Like,
Does he have a Rushmore stipulation? Then I want the 6th.
I'm the podfather.
would you take it?
It's my network. You're fired.
Would you
No.
take it?
God damn it.
Would you take an
God
8?
damn it. All I wanted was to do good.
Joe, what
Okay,
are you
no,
taking
that's
on
fair
this list? This is a tough one.
Yeah. I'm not including the 6th one because it's a 6th one. It doesn't count. I'm going with his first 5.
Ian screwed Ian.
Yeah.
Joe looking to get fired again tonight.
Doesn't bother me.
It bothers me because that was a great match, that 6th one.
I think
Well,
I'm going to go Sean.
Jay, me and you can talk about it on Dynamo's Dozens Grand.
I think I'm going to go Sean Dynamite for my first pick.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting, yeah.
God.
I know how to pick them, huh?
Yeah. I think I'm going to go with Ray Tiger as my second one.
Oh, that's interesting.
I think I'd love to see what the 2 of them would do.
Oh,
I'd absolutely love to see it.
that'd be the best thing you've ever seen in your life, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think it would be. It'd just be, you just sit there with your eyes wide open and your mouth just like,
How does the human body do this?
yeah, exactly. I think I'd
It'd be closer to watching anime than wrestling, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It'd be
Yeah.
just there's a comic book there.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be real superhero shit. That like it would be unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think they're my 2 picks. I think they're. Yeah.
I'm going to go, and I think I'm going to have to go Macho CM.
Okay.
I think that match is jumping out for me, and bless him, Macho's had 3 attempts at this card. What does the best in the world ever have to do to get on a wrestling card?
Yeah.
It'd be better. Not possible with Macho.
And a hell of a dance partner there as well, Jay, right? That would just lend himself to everything Macho wants to do.
Well, you've got the I see the entrance. I don't see Macho Man. I see Macho King. I see royalty. I see regality. I see the apex of 80s pro wrestling and in all its audacity versus the antithesis of that celebrity pro wrestling generation that, put all that silly shit away. I don't do me drugs. I don't do fucking fancy gimmickry. I come down here and I sit down and I pipe bomb till my guts explodes, and I hate the company even though I love pro wrestling. So you've got Mr. WW at the time versus Mr. Anti-WW, and I think the dynamic in that match would work very well. You've got over the top versus underground.
Yes.
And for me, that's it screams to me. And I will have to pick Sean V Dynamite. I think I would. I think again, it's the era of what they both wrestled in. I think Dynamite being the guy who relayed the foundations for what pro wrestling could be televised versus the guy who did the exact same thing 20 years later.
Exactly. That's what the thoughts were behind it, yeah.
Yeah. Foundations built on the shoulder of giants. Like,
yeah.
Well, I'm going for Savage and Punk, and I'm going for Flair and Balor. The reason I didn't go for HBK and Dynamite is because Dynamite's already on the card.
He can do 2 matches. It's all good.
Yeah, but I ain't paying him twice.
I'll chip in.
That's exactly what retired him.
I'll chip in.
And I didn't go for Piper and Austin either because they're already against each other in the Survivor Series match. So I left them out.
Oh, tactical.
I like it. Very tactical.
What are we agreeing here, man? Men, are we going Savage and Punk anyway? There's one.
Yeah, well, that's a given. Yeah.
Yeah. So who are we sticking in for the second
So
match?
it's got to be either Sean and Dynamite or else.
Well, Dynamite's already on the card, so I would have. It's either Mysterio versus Tiger Mask, or Flair versus Balor, or you could go Perfect Orton if anyone had picked it because they're not on the card yet.
Well, I'd say Joe did pick Ray and Tiger Mask, so that's kind of.
Do you want to go Ray and Tiger Mask?
How could you not? You're going to be entertained and give something for the kids, something for the merch table, something for the ages.
We have to think business as well, don't we?
We got to sell merch. Do you know what I mean? And one of them is going to wear a silly wig on his mask for the next 15 years.
We're going to put this Mania on in Crow Park. We need to get our money back, don't we?
85,000 fans baying for blood in Fishborough.
They get 95 in. They're not getting a long entrance. Fuck that. I'm going to sell more seats.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Where do I?
No, I'll be driving up at the Fiat Punto to the ring. Get in there.
Selling sandwiches out of the boot.
Full of Benjamins. Full of Benjamins.
Get the last of the triangle corned beef sandwiches.
Absolutely.
Get your hanging cheese.
That's it.
Gourmet tinfoil wrapped. Brilliant.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Good. Right. I started out thinking about this, and I was thinking I kind of went from a bit of wrestling to a bit of business and how I would sell tickets and what would be iconic and all that kind of stuff.
Fucking Vinnie Mac of the DPA.
But I also looked at how could I put all the madness, and it's a kind of a little hint, into one match. So I started out with the Ultimate Maniacs versus the Road Warriors. That was my first match.
That was just for Jay, wasn't it?
No, what it was is I was thinking if I'm in the gorilla position,
it's over.
Well, now I know what match I'm not picking. Can you give me?
I'm voting for that twice. Fuck, you're not picking. I'm voting for it twice. It's already true.
I thought entrances would sell the tickets alone, like, you know what I mean?
Told you me and Joe back being a tag team would benefit the viewers.
And I don't think you will get better promos either in the build up to a match.
Well, you get better promos. You just would get.
You just won't understand them.
Nonsensical promos. Yeah.
No. What they'd be is that they'd be the loudest promos.
But that's how you make things matter, Joe. That's how you get the people in the back to hear you.
Madness lives matter too.
No whispering your passions. You don't get anywhere whispering your passions. This is a loud game, son.
Maniacs lives matter too.
These aren't in any necessary order either.
Oh, of course.
But, my second match, I was thinking, how am I going to fill out Crow Park and sell 100,000 tickets? And I thought, to put a match together, I was thinking Undertaker versus Sting.
I danced with that one. Yeah, definitely.
I had it as one of my alternatives.
Don't lie, Joe.
I did.
He had it before he knew he was allowed pick 6.
Yeah. Then I moved into I wanted to have just a real good wrestling match, you know, like a top tier NXT but Mania level match. And I went for Eddie Guerrero versus Finn Balor.
Oh shit. That sounds good, man.
Versus Balor. So yeah, I thought that would be unbelievable. I started thinking about, you know, Balor versus Cross, Balor versus Pete Dunne, Balor versus anyone really, and I was thinking, imagine the level that Eddie Guerrero would hit with that man.
Oh,
question, just a general side note question, man. Would you prefer a fucking Prince Devitt? Would you prefer Japanese, or would you prefer NXT Balor?
NXT Balor, yeah. I mean, look, the way I look at it is, Jay, both are good. Both.
That's not in question, but they're both very different flavors.
The thing is, when you look at
ketchup and mayonnaise.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? Like he can blend into whatever you need him to be. But I would agree. I would say the NXT.
I think so too. The more mature fucking ring vet legend style baller versus the.
Take a headlock for fucking 2 minutes and grind an opponent down.
As long as he can go back to calling it the bloody Sunday, I'm happy. It's happening in Croker.
He wants to, yeah.
So then I kind of started getting a bit inventive and I started putting in stipulations. So I said I'd put in a War Games match. The 4 Horsemen versus Degeneration X.
The what? Sorry?
4 Horsemen versus Degeneration X in a War Games match.
I know who wins that.
With the pens, do they have Rick Rude at the side of the apron?
No. They lost that at the screw job. Fuck his.
That's
He's been giving me this job on the screw job for long enough now. Fuck off. Rick Rude's gone.
I'm taking Rick Rude.
He sided with Team Canada. Ask me bollocks.
No, I'm taking Rude and I'm going home.
Yeah, I am.
Right, so then for my final match again in no particular order.
Which 4 horsemen? No, there's a lot of them.
I'd say he's going with obviously
Classic.
Flair, Anderson, and Tully, and you're probably going with Big Blonde, yeah.
And not Big Blonde with the muscles now.
Oh no,
The other Big Blonde. Just to be clear about that.
He's on his
I
bus
have him right
somewhere. He's on his bus doing the express somewhere. Fuck him.
I don't know. I fancy Ole Anderson in a War Games match as well, beating the piss out of someone in a cage.
he's very meticulous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably
Barry
smelling.
Windham, you got to get him in though. Barry Windham.
Absolutely. 100%.
Ole probably smelling like piss as well, in fairness. You know what I
Ole
mean?
be in the corner. Exactly.
Yeah.
Isn't
Passing out.
Ole and Rick Rude beating the piss out of each other outside?
Rick
Probably
Rude is gone, Joe. He's gone.
Oh, he's gone. He's good.
Yeah, no, Ian took his Rude and went home.
Yeah. Me and Rick are here now. Fuck that.
The honor of Rick Rude, the dignity and the honor of you just can't have
Exactly.
Rick. Why? Because he loves Brett and nobody else did.
Oh, everyone did.
Which is completely fair.
Nobody
Completely
else did.
Everyone did.
Nobody quit for him. So, I mean, money where your mouth is. I love
They
you,
all
bro.
tried
But
to.
I'm
Yeah,
keeping my
Mankind.
job. I'll try to. How do you
Mick
try
Foley.
to quit?
Mick Foley did too.
As a side
Did he
note
quit?
as well, don't forget to check out the A&E review on Bret Hart. That's on the Dynamite
Yeah,
Podcast
Jay.
Network.
Yeah, your mouth will be quiet watching that one.
Who says I'm going to watch it?
Very,
Oh,
Because the world knows now that you've been called out on this
yeah.
wonderful
Oh,
debate that you instigated on Hogan
Very-
and Warrior that
very-
you've been backing out on.
What the fuck has Hogan and Warrior got to do with a Bret Hart bleeding review on
It's just
A&E?
it's the debate that you
Talk about
called.
reaching for fucking what?
Go
Varying,
back and watch it.
varying opinions on the opening segment in that documentary when he's painted. Varying opinions.
Yeah, very much
Yeah,
so.
Not
yeah,
necessarily, not necessarily on our episode, but definitely out
With all
there
due
in the
respect,
interweb.
with all due respect to his mouth, it blows in the wind like a fucking windsock, doesn't it? I mean, he said both sides of everything for the last 20 years. I mean, he needs to settle on a few opinions before we respect his integrity.
Oh, I think he has a lot more integrity than you or me, to be fair.
Oh, that's right, because A&E have rewrote history again, haven't they?
No. Just because he wasn't irrelevant and a cup of coffee in the big time for a long time.
Oh, scathing.
Anyway, Noel, back to your show.
Scathing attack on a man who was barely even a pro wrestler. Oh my God, I'm so personally offended.
Jesus. I said I'd round it out. This is where I got really inventive, and I was thinking it's hard to have a WrestleMania card without a Money in the Bank match. And I was thinking in order.
No, it's not.
No, it is. Believe me, it's very important to have a Money in the Bank match.
That's how you bring Jay back.
I know.
I never left.
Not only.
No, I mean, as in you and me.
Oh yeah.
So, not only did I go Money in the Bank, I went a tag team Money in the Bank.
Okay.
So I went with the Rock and Roll Express
You're an awful cheater, aren't you? Look at you.
versus the Rockers
Getting them all in.
versus New Day
Ooh.
Fuck off.
versus Undisputed Era versus the Hart Foundation.
How many shows does
Brett's
this ring
already on the
have?
show.
How many shows does this ring have?
Versus. No, that was it. 5 teams, Money in the Bank, all good. And I thought that would be an absolute.
That's a hell of a card, man.
who was the last team, Noel?
Hart Foundation.
Uh-huh.
Hart Foundation.
Which of the undisputed era are you going with?
Cole and O'Reilly.
Niall's always going with Cole. Niall loves Cole.
This is the bit where I pretend to be up to speed and then, oh, Cole and O'Reilly. Nice.
Niall loves Cole.
Adam Cole, baby.
The problem is
How can you not?
Strong is good. Strong is good, but he doesn't really draw a dime. He's a good wrestler, but he doesn't draw a dime. So
Call all those matches out again there, Niall.
Okay, so just to recap, we have the Ultimate Maniacs versus the Road Warriors.
Yeah.
We have Undertaker versus Sting, the iconic match. We have the Four Horsemen versus D-Generation X War Games. We have a straight up Eddie Guerrero Latino Heat versus Finn Balor. And then we had the Money in the Bank tag team match, Rock and Roll Express, Rockers, New Day, Undisputed Era, and Heart Foundation.
Interesting.
So that's the 5.
Joe, you go first since you opened the show.
Yeah, but I'm also going to ask Niall, which of those matches are eliminated due to crossover? The wrestling earlier in the night. A couple of them, Eddie Balor's gone.
Savage, Ultimate Maniacs and Road Warriors could be gone because we have Savage and CM Punk in there.
That's gone as well.
Yeah.
Oh, God damn it, I undone myself.
So did I.
You could argue the Money in the Bank tag team match is gone because of Brett versus Kurt.
Oh, Brett, yeah.
Although Brett versus Kurt would be the opener, wouldn't
it? But sure, look, you have the Jim the Anvil Neidhart Foundation anyway, so he could do it on his own.
That's true, yeah.
Wrote that on it.
Well, he won most of their matches in tag. He might as well have been on his own in that tag team.
Yeah.
There's a bit of crossover here as well because you have what have we got? We've got
Guerrero was in my fucking fatal 4-way. Did that make it?
Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, the off my picks.
Yeah.
What?
Yes, your fatal 4-way. Yeah, that's one of the matches. Yeah, so that takes Eddie out and Balor.
Did Balor and Flair make it? No.
Savage and Punk and Mysterio and Tiger Mask in your ones.
Yeah, well then, and Balor and Eddie was already in the fatal 4-way. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you've got the Rockers in there as well. I'm sure Sean is in here somewhere. We've already picked them.
There's 2 generations of Eddie though. Like WCW Eddie could have wrestled Balor.
Yeah.
We're clutching at straws now because we eliminated matches earlier on, not on those.
Yeah, we're going on Niall's premise, aren't we?
You're sour. Well, so I suppose. Then you're left with Undertaker and Sting anyway, aren't you?
Well, that was a given.
That's a given anyway. Like
I was picking that. Yeah.
That's a money match all day fucking long.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
Okay.
And Niall being the businessman he is, he picked out a big money match.
We're just not letting WWE fucking. It's a Sting entrance. He's walking out the fucking aisle.
Who else
and the NWO aren't coming to save the group that he fucking fought his entire career. Like.
I know.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah, we can't do the bottom match because actually Jannetty is in the Survivor Series match. So that rules out.
And Jannetty can literally only go 5 minutes now. So
yeah, wouldn't be enough.
Yeah, but back then he could have gone 16 years. What with the chemical imbalance in his body?
That's true. Very true.
He wrestled all night. It wouldn't bother him. He didn't know where he was to begin with.
Fucking chemical imbalance.
He was in the Green River.
Does that mean are the Four Horsemen and DX out as well? Then?
Are they out? Where have we?
Shawn Michaels.
Because we haven't.
Shawn was in DX, yeah.
Yeah, but is Shawn in a match? What match did we pick for Shawn?
Shawn and Dynamite.
Where?
Yeah.
No, we didn't pick Shawn and Dynamite. We picked
Mysterio and Tiger. It was Macho and Ray.
And Macho and Punk.
Oh, was it?
Sorry. Macho, Punk, and Ray and Tiger Mask in that period.
Yeah, you're right.
So you could probably go Horsemen versus DX if you wanted War Games.
Yeah.
That's probably the only choice you have left. Actually,
we've probably lost Sean as a viewer as well, considering his ego and the fact that it took 4 goals to get him onto a card. Yeah. Sean's just unsubscribed from the network.
Yeah.
But Sean, we fucking tried, man. We're at the
this is the just before I lost the smile, Sean, as well. So it wouldn't have worked well with Dynamite.
Well, if he's lost the smile, he's nothing to be unhappy about. He's already there.
But then he's lucky he didn't get the match with Dynamite. Then be happy that you're in a 5-man.
Yeah. So what are we going? Undertaker, Sting, and Horseman versus DX War Games.
Yeah.
That's all we can go with, really, isn't it? I'm never going last again. It's not fair.
You're the host.
This is my show.
we would have had more choices if we knew we had a sixth match. All I'm saying, I wanted to see H versus Harley Race. That's all I'm saying, but I didn't put them in there.
You're the only
Who
one.
versus Race? Sorry, who did
H
you have versus H?
Versus Harley Race.
Yeah.
I had a different H against Harley Race than mine. I had a triple threat with Race in it, and it was Haku versus Race versus Brody. No DQ.
Oh, good lord.
In the CZW light bulb, kill your opponent.
No, that's just to the death match.
Brian Gage is the referee.
Yeah, no,
Jesus.
there'd be no gimmicks, lad. There'd be no weapons left ringside around. Because 3 of them were weapons themselves, and they'd fashion weapons out of anything around them. So it'd just be no DQ. Let them get the piss out of them.
I'm not going to disrespect those 3 men by saying that they would have been on the opener. Hell no.
No, absolutely not. So, men, here is your Ultimate Mania card in no particular order because they're all main events. We start with Brett versus Kurt Angle. Then we go Steamboat versus AJ Styles. I'm telling you, I'm going to this. I don't care how much it costs. Then we got the Survivor Series style match pitching the 2 errors in the IC belt.
You know, you've got Jay when he's like,
So we've got
you piqued his interest.
We've got Steamboat, Jannetty, Piper, Santana, Warrior versus Owen Hart, Stone Cold, Miz, Ziggler, and AJ Styles. Then we have
AJ double booked.
Is AJ double booked? Where's AJ double booked?
Because he's AJ Steamboat, and then AJ is in that IC match.
Very good, yeah. Well, he had to win that match to actually get into it, so that was.
And plus, AJ's young.
It was the mystery opponent that was that.
He's got a personal gauntlet stipulation.
I love how I'm saying AJ's young and he's a spring chicken and he's 42.
The Steamboat one is the TNA AJ Styles. Stop, Joe.
Well, no, he still smells like TNA. So
well, you shot yourself through when you brought that stipulation up.
Vince is trying to sweat the smell of TNA off him. You're wrestling 6 matches. Like, why? Because TNA, that's why.
So then an absolute barn burner, a fatal 4-way. Finlay, Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, and Dynamite Kid. Absolute stellar match. Then we go for the mask versus mask. Rey Mysterio versus Tiger Mask. Great shout in. And then we go Savage versus CM Punk. Savage with Sherry in his corner and CM Punk with Liz.
Liv.
To change it. Liz.
Liv.
Liz.
Okay, she'll run in, so.
So then we drop the cages down onto the 2 rings and we go the Horsemen versus DX. And
she might find someone like CM Punk attractive. You're right, Jay.
Well, no, I'm ringside.
And no narcotics around.
Ah, you fucker, you got me. I was like.
And then we round out the match with the iconic match that most wrestling fans wanted but will never see, I would imagine, and have not seen. Undertaker versus Sting. So that's our Ultimate WrestleMania card now. Tell you, that's a heck of a card.
Now let the fans comment and moan now and tell us how we left out Kenny Omega.
Yeah, well now we want the fans to drop their cards into the comments and let us
and
know.
If you do drop in Finger Mac Finger Bang, it will be deleted by yours truly. Just saying.
I don't know, would it be replied to or deleted?
No, it would be deleted, so there's no point in doing it.
I don't know. There's more fun in replying to it, isn't
there? Yeah, thanks for watching.
Ian, thanks for watching.
That's
thanks
what
for listening.
You know, yeah, thanks for listening. When you're a guy that wants to call us 4 Podmen fools and stuff like that and give us over hard work, what you're going to get is thanks for listening. Okay? So if you're still listening there, whatever your name is, whoever you are, thanks for listening.
What I'd like to do, I've actually got a caveat to that. Again, I mean, well, we know the numbers. We know what fucking YouTube is telling us. People do watch. I mean, and I'd love to see his comment where you are watching from in the world. I'd love to know.
Yeah.
If it's like, you know, on average per 100 a show or whatever it is. I'd love to know if it's predominantly the UK or if there's anybody out there be proud of where you're from and what you watch, and be happy about it. And let us know. Just in the comments.
We want suggestions for our Podmen abroad trip.
Yes.
Yeah. We're looking for locations to get pissed in and talk shit.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, the world is our oyster, and I have a problem.
We're looking to go just over that wall at the end of the Antarctica to see what's going on up there.
Calgary, Alberta, is it?
No, man.
Yeah, you're not invited. Most of it's in Calgary.
Oh, would you stop? They'd love me in Calgary. We stopped at Newfoundland for a reason. You know what I mean? I'd rather drink on this barren
It's the
tundra
opposite
than go
side of the world.
inland.
Though.
God.
Saskatchewan, Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan. There we go.
Saskatchewan.
If there's a
Worcestershire, Saskatchewan.
if there's a wrestling promotion in Santa Ponza, let
Anybody
us know.
listening in Saskatchewan, please.
Yeah. Yeah, literally, we're just looking for somewhere in the world to be drunk and belligerent and a broadcast, if you will. And just listen. If you're watching, don't be afraid. Just let us know where you're from. It interests
I'd like to
us.
know that too.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Well, man, as always, a pleasure. This time, a lot of smiles, a lot of fun. Head over
God,
to
it felt
YouTube,
good.
Dynamo Podcast Network, Anchor for audio versions of the show, which is where people generally listen. YouTube is for where they watch, but no bother at all. And obviously, head over to Anchor for our audio versions of the show. And if you want to hit up,
and by the way, nobody listens on Anchor, so we're available on all podcast mediums, so Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Google Podcasts, absolutely everything. Anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts, all the audio versions are there. Noel likes to say Anchor. We're not solely Anchor.
Yes.
Literally available everywhere.
Well, Anchor is the window to everything else.
It is. It is the window to the soul.
Absolutely.
But if you don't want to particularly listen to us on Anchor, please do listen to us on Spotify,
Yes.
the sister of Anchor.
And male viewers, tell your women I said hello.
And if we can't end with that, can we? If you'd like to contact the show, obviously drop your matches into the comments. That's what we want to hear. But
We'd
also,
like to
if you
know.
want to hit us up, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at TPodman.
Subject ideas as well, man.
Absolutely. Anything you'd like us to talk about, discuss, that's not related to Dark Side of the Ring for a change.
Oh,
we're happy
God.
to take it on. Gentlemen, pleasure as always. Cheers.